I'm doing a Smackdown review live. This will be about maybe 30 or 40 minutes. We'll see how long it's gonna be. But this is Mr. Blackhammer 2021. My video is sponsored by JD from New York, Salamat the Sounder, Fightful Pro Wrestling, The Wrestling Inc., and all the other podcasters out there who are watching. SmackDown had just went off the air. It's been like 14 minutes. Thought the show was okay. Really, I think the only highlight was the bloodline. The bloodline what carried this show. That was the only thing that mattered on this show. And the other thing was Grayson Waller finally wrestled. Grayson Waller wrestled his debut match on SmackDown against Ez, and it looked like they see value in Grayson Waller. We did get Austin Theory defeat Sheamus for the U.S. title. Complete after start. AJ Styles beat Karrion Kross. I don't know where they go with Karrion Kross. And for the women's situation, there were no women's matches. All the women were in one segment. Asuka was there, Bianca was there, Charlotte, they all brawled. Io Sky, she tried to cancel in, that didn't happen. It could be a fatal four-way. I don't know. But, the show was really all about the bloodline. The storyline just keep getting good and good. It keep getting better. The way how, because the entire show was carried for 40 minutes. I think it was like 35 minutes. Because, as you guys know, that Roman Reigns stands trial in New York. Roman Reigns faces tribal court. I think the Usos, they come out first, and crowd popped, and they talked about how they pinned Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, they said he couldn't be beaten. They said he couldn't be pinned, but he was pinned. Paul Heyman interrupted them with Paul Heyman and Solo. They interrupted them, and then Roman Reigns came out, and I thought they were great. The way how they did it, I'm actually gonna show you guys what happened. There wasn't that much on this show really, but this is how it happened. This is how the show opened up. Hold on, just let me skip this for a minute. This is how the show opened up. I'm gonna go through the entire show, and then I'll go through the news and rumors, and I'll go through the SummerSlam build. All right, here we go. Here's the opener of SmackDown.
This is what you want. This is what this is all about. I don't want it. I don't need it.
All right, listen.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with all of it. I don't want it anymore. If you want it, it's yours. I'm done.
In case you guys have noticed, the Usos, now during this segment, the Usos, they did show a video package of all the years, they showed a video package of all the years of what Roman Reigns was doing to Usos, how he was treating them, how he manipulated them. Jey Uso said, "You're not gonna manipulate us again." So they showed that video package in this segment that showed all the years of what Roman Reigns was doing to them, how he treated them, how he manipulated them. That was shown here. And then we got them talking. And then Roman Reigns tried to hand the lead to Jey Uso and said he's done. Now this was actually shocking. Roman Reigns gave him delays, and Roman Reigns took a knee. Also, I forgot to say, we did get some good chants by the crowd. The one part where the crowd chanted "You fucked up" to Roman Reigns, because after the Usos showed that video package of what Roman was doing to them all those years. The crowd chanted, "You fucked up," and WWE had to mute the crowd for like a few seconds. And then there was one part where the crowd chanted bullshit, and again they had to mute the crowd for like a few seconds. I don't know why. I actually hate when they mute the crowd to mute. It's actually annoying. I did not like that. Just let the crowd chant who they want to chant. All right, now back to the segment. Here's the one thing that really shocked me. Roman Reigns takes a knee. All right, let me change the camera angle. That's what happened. That's what happened. Roman Reigns, he took a knee. He took a knee, and he's on the ground. He and you can see him crying. You see him teared up. That was the shocking part. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. That was the shocking part. Roman Reigns was crying, and then Roman Reigns, he low blowed Jey Uso. He manipulated the Usos again. He played mind games. He tricked the Usos, trying to make him think that he felt sorry. But he low blowed Jey Uso, and that's when we got the brawl. That's when they brawled the Usos. I mean, Jimmy was shocked. He was upset. He went at Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa, he also, because Solo Sikoa, he went after Jey Uso. He gave him a Samoa spike. I think the best highlight of this was, okay, so after he low blowed Jey Uso and Jimmy went after Roman, and then Solo went after Jimmy, gave him a Samoa spike. There was a great shot where all the Usos are down, Usos reigns are down, Solo is in the middle of the ring. He picks up the lays that Roman had given Jay, and there was a great shot. We stood it for a few seconds. I thought, was he gonna put it over his neck? Was he gonna give it to Roman or the Usos? Where does Solo's allegiance lie? I think the story is really Solo. Like, is Solo gonna realize what his brothers see that he doesn't? I think that's really the story. But after that, we did get a brawl with the Usos, and there was at one point where they tied Jey Uso to the ropes, and Solo's holding Jey to the ropes, and then Roman Reigns is beating up Jimmy. He's hitting him with the title. He hit him with the steel steps, and then Solo did a drop on Jimmy to the announce table, and Jimmy sold the injury. He was taken out into the ambulance, and then that was the segment. Took up 35 minutes of the show, and then we show a recap of what happened. They show a replay of what happened. So like 40 minutes of the entire show were taken up by the bloodline. And as for the main event segment, I'm not going to talk about the main event segment because that was the last thing on the show. Where we got a backstage segment with Paul Heyman telling Roman Reigns that Jey Uso is still back in Madison Square Garden. So Reigns is out there. Jey Uso came out. He came out to the crowd, and he came out. He attacked Solo. He hit Roman with the chair. He hit Solo with the chair a few times, and he challenged Roman Reigns for the Universal title one-on-one. He didn't say at SummerSlam. He wanted to wait until Roman Reigns makes a decision next week on Smackdown. And I think there you have it. I think we will get Roman Reigns and Jey Uso made official next week for SummerSlam. I think we will get the match. I think the match will happen.
Download the Domino's app.
Hold on. Yeah, so I think we will get the match for SummerSlam. I'm curious how that match is going to end. Is it going to end clean? Will there be a screwy finish? Maybe Solo interferes? Will Solo see what his brothers see? Maybe Jimmy might get involved. I don't know. It should be a good match. Obviously, they put main event SummerSlam, one of the biggest feuds that been going on for like 3 years. This is 3 years in the making. Last time these guys wrestled was at Clash of Champions, and then Hell in a Cell, and how great that was. And here we go, 3 years later. I can't wait to see how this is gonna all play out at SummerSlam. How it's gonna end. I have a feeling that something might happen in this match. But anyway, after that, so after the whole bloodline, there wasn't that much on this show. We only got like 4 things. There are only 4 things on this show. Austin Theory defend the United States Championship against Sheamus in a decent match. Pretty Deadly got involved. They helped Austin Theory. I don't know why. And then we saw the Brawling Brute. So clearly, Pretty Deadly and the Brawling Brute, they're gonna be feuding. Don't know why they're helping Austin Theory. Don't get this allegiance. But Austin Theory he won with a roll up. So he beat Sheamus. Austin Theory and his title reign seemed like an afterthought. I feel bad for Austin Theory. His title reign had been forgettable. Ever since WrestleMania, he got that win against John Cena. He's been a forgettable champion. He's been like an afterthought. He had no one to feud with. I don't think he'll be on SummerSlam. That's why I feel bad for Austin Theory. You might as well take it off of him because they clearly have no plan for Austin Theory. Why don't they have Grayson Waller win it? Or LA Knight? We didn't see LA Knight tonight. But yeah, Austin Theory beat Sheamus. He did US champion. We'll see where they go with him. Maybe do Grayson Waller since he wrestled Ed tonight. We did get the Grayson Waller effect with Ez. Ed won't allow any different back from Grayson Waller. Now Grayson Waller said that he thought Ed was going to retire tonight, but Ed didn't retire. Ed said he came back for all his fans. He came back for all of them as being put into the WWE Universe. So Ed said that he's going to challenge Grayson Waller to a match tonight. I believe this match might have went 18 minutes, close to 20 minutes, which was actually pretty good. And a decent little match. Grayson Waller wrestles his debut match against Ed, a Hall of Famer, a legend, an 11-time world champion. That shows you they see value in Grayson Waller, and they do plan to push him. How about we have him win the U.S. title and have him do something? I think Grayson Waller deserves it. Because they do see effort in Grayson Waller. He was at Money in the Bank. He had that 7 with John Cena. And now he has a 7 with Edge. He wrestled the greatest of all time in Edge. Now Edge won this match. He won clean. He won a spear. I mean, Edge, I thought the match was pretty good. So Ed beat Grayson Waller. And after the match was over, Ed told Grayson Waller, "You're a scam." They're clearly planting the seed for Grayson Waller. They have something major for Grayson Waller. Alright, so after that match, we did get AJ Styles and Karrion Kross in a okay match. It might have been like less than 10 minutes. AJ Styles beat Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross wore a leg sleeve. He wore a white band-aid for his leg. He must be showing an injury. Now these two have been going there for a few weeks now. AJ Styles had beat Karrion Kross twice. I don't know what doing Karrion Kross. AJ Styles, what's he doing on the main roster? I feel bad for Karrion Kross. He's been in these secondary feuds, been in these matches. He's been losing a lot lately. So I don't know what they're doing with Karrion Kross. It looks like this feud may be over. It looks like Kross and Styles may be done. And that was it. I got nothing to say here. It was a decent match. That was pretty much it. Now we did get a segment. There were no women's matches on this show, but we got a segment with all the women. Oscar came out, Bianca attacked her, then Charlotte came out and they attacked each other. And then Io Sky, she came out, she tried to cash in, but didn't. And then her and Bayley got taken out. So clearly, Next week, they're setting up Asuka versus Bianca for the Women's Championship next week. I think that might also end in a DQ. Clearly, they're setting up a triple threat match with Asuka, Bianca, and Charlotte. That's the plan rumor going into SummerSlam. And Io Sky may cast in. But that would pretty much it. That would pretty much Smackdown. That was really only Smackdown. There are only like 5 things to talk about. Everything with the bloodline, the tribal court for the tribal chief, Edge and Grayson Waller had a pretty decent match. Austin Theory defeated Sheamus, AJ Styles defeated Karrion Kross, and then we had the whole thing with the woman. And that was really it. Roman Reigns leaving WWE. Are they really planning that Roman Reigns is leaving WWE? Are they setting up that he may lose the titles? It looks like they're planting seed for that. Roman Reigns could be leaving WWE. Now Jey Uso's not going to win the title. Once he beat Jey Uso, then what? Does Jimmy get involved or Solo get involved? And then they can do Reigns and Solo. Cause right now, those are the only 2 people I can see that is legit enough to wrestle Roman Reigns and beat him. Because they're teaching a lot with Solo, really. Alright, see what Solomon has to say.
So whatever the final number is, I guess.
Pick the segment overall outside of the lane. My only thing with that is he's grasping something that Jay specifically said last week he doesn't care about. He said, I don't want to be the tribal chief. Give that to Solo. I'm not interested in that.
And this is both a blessing and a curse for SmackDown, because it is a blessing that they have the bloodline on Friday nights, because it is the best story going right now in WWE. WWE puts more effort and more thought into the bloodline story than anything else on either of their shows.
Exactly.
Whether it's Monday or Friday.
Yeah.
Because Roman Reigns is their golden goose right now. Roman
exactly.
Reigns is their crown jewel. He is their top guy. He is their headline attraction. And so it kind of makes sense that they would put all their eggs in that basket. But because of the Bloodline segment taking up so many of these shows, when you shine a light on everything else that happens on SmackDown week to week, you realize how weak the rest of the show is in terms of storytelling, in terms of character development. It really is not. I mean, it's just the gap is so large between the two. So that's what I mean when I say a blessing and a curse. You get the best of the best with the Bloodline stuff, and with everything else, not so much. And that was really the tale of SmackDown tonight.
Yeah.
If you love the Bloodline, this was the show for you. Because tonight, Roman Reigns was taken to tribal court by his cousins, Jimmy and Jey Uso, coming off of Money in the Bank when Roman ate the pin last weekend in London. We had this was our second tribal court segment of the year. We had one earlier this year at Raw 30 with Sami Zayn. Here it was at Madison Square Garden with Roman in the hot seat. And by the time this show was over, the main event was clear, although it's not official yet, but the main event for SummerSlam was made very clear. It should have been clear for weeks, but it is especially clear after tonight that Roman Reigns is going to put his championship on the line against Jey Uso. That is really the big takeaway from tonight's show. Roman and Jey has been set. The battle lines have been drawn. And now we have Jey Uso not only trying to take Roman's championship from him, but trying to defend the honor of his brother, who was brutalized by Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa here tonight. We also had the in-ring return of Edge. He was supposed to be a guest on the Grayson Waller effect, and he was, but it led to a match. Now, I would have imagined that this was going to be the match for SummerSlam, but instead they pulled a fast one on us, and they gave us the match tonight, unannounced, unadvertised. on SmackDown between Edge and Grayson Waller on what ended up being Grayson Waller's in-ring main roster debut.
Yep.
He had a broken leg. He broke his leg in his last NXT match a few months ago, which is the reason why we have not seen him in the ring. So tonight, this was our first time seeing him actually competing inside the ring on SmackDown. And I have a lot to say about the outcome of that match and about Grayson Waller coming out of that match and why this was such a big night for him. And not just for the obvious reasons, but why this was such a big night for him and why I believe that Grayson Waller has become what WWE had hoped Austin Theory would be, but so far has not.
Yeah.
Speaking of Austin Theory, he defended the United States Championship on the show against Sheamus, and we do not have a new United States champion. And I'm happy about that. The reason I'm happy about that is because there is somebody else who should be competing for the United States Championship against Austin Theory. And I like Sheamus, but it's not Sheamus. In fact, it is someone who was not even on the show tonight. And this was the most egregious thing of all. WWE has fallen, as they sometimes do, through no fault of their own, ass backwards into something that they did not create. But the fans kind of willed it into existence. The fans have gotten behind LA Knight in a very big way over the past couple of months. So much so that LA Knight, we found out this week, was one of the top 5 merchandise sellers in June.
Yeah.
The guy just got his first t-shirt only a few weeks ago, and he's already one of the top merch movers in the company.
Yeah.
LA Knight went to London last week. You heard the reaction on SmackDown last Friday. You saw and heard the reaction at Money in the Bank on Saturday. Those people so badly wanted to see him pull down that briefcase, and in the end, he fell short. And I said, don't write off LA Knight just yet. LA Knight is not buried. LA Knight is not dead. Surely WWE will continue to see and hear these reactions.
I can't believe I'm saying that. Because everything else suffered. There is no excuse why the women got that little time. 2 minutes on a 2-hour show for the women? And then 3 minutes for AJ Styles.
Yeah.
Grayson Waller got a lot of time. He had a segment with Edge and then a full-on match with Edge. I have a question. Can someone tell me what's so different? What's so different about Grayson Waller that we're not already getting with?
I mostly
Like the 5th highest selling merch seller out
I
in
know,
WWE.
right?
There were a lot of people, frankly, who were left off the show tonight, not just LA Knight.
Yeah.
But all the segments, all the short segments, 2-3 minute segments on the show, you mean to tell me that you couldn't find 2 minutes, even in a backstage segment,
Yeah.
to pop the crowd?
Because WWE has a major problem with SmackDown. They put they put all the efforts in this show.
You get to SmackDown here, Madison Square Garden, New York.
So I guess in a sense that's a good thing. I just question, did they need to give him all this time? Why did AJ Styles and Karrion Kross get cut? Karrion Kross and Scarlett didn't even get a full entrance. Their entrance got cut halfway. We'll talk about that later.
And that's the problem. I didn't watch the match. It wasn't enough time.
The way that I
3 minutes.
like to see
I feel bad
them
for Karrion
begin to
Kross.
build for SummerSlam, then that'll be fine. But I still think it was very stupid not to find a place for him on the show. I said to WWE last week, remember what I said? Don't drop the ball. Don't fumble the ball on LA Knight, as they have fumbled the ball with other people in the past. Don't fumble the ball on LA Knight.
Yeah.
Keep him on TV, consistent television time. The only way he's going to stay over. Worst thing WWE could do is, oh, well, we couldn't find room for him on the show. This is just 1 week. If it happens next week, or the week after, that's where I'll change my tune. But this is your Friday night SmackDown review here for July 7th, 2023. I am the Solid Monster. We got a lot to get into here because there were quite a few things here that took place on the show that we will get into. But I also have to point out first, before we even get going into the review, that it was 27 years ago today. I don't know. Some of you may not be aware of this. Some of you may have forgotten, or maybe you weren't on social media today. But it was 27 years ago today that we saw the greatest and the single most important heel turn in the history of professional wrestling. It was WCW Bash at the Beach 1996. Not only did we get the most impactful heel turn of all time, we got the formation of probably the most successful, the most copied faction of all time. The formation of the NWO, the New World Order. It was Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. That, of course, sparked the Monday Night War period that to this day WWE loves to milk and make money off of. And people still look back on and romanticize. And I can understand why, because I lived through it. I was
The right move to make. I don't see how Jey Uso is gonna fare as like the top champ on SmackDown. I don't know about that. But I also don't see how you continue it after where we're at. They're teasing Solo turning on Roman. And once Solo turns on Roman, that's it. Forget about it. There's nothing else to do. So I don't know, man. It looks like we're wrapping things up with the bloodline, which would probably be good for the rest of the roster, but also not good because it's so good. It's so well done. It's left a huge. It's gonna leave a huge gap in the show. Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Once this thing ends, nothing's gonna feel the same for a while.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna need to do something to make things interesting because I don't even know what.
talked about pinning Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank, the supposedly unbeatable Roman Reigns. Or Paul Heyman came out to interrupt the party. It was Paul Heyman
Yep.
and Solo Sikoa interrupting the Usos. Came to the ring. Heyman said that he would be defense counsel for the tribal chief tonight in the tribal court. The Usos told him to shut his mouth, and Heyman came back and said, "No, you don't tell me to shut my mouth. There's only one man
Yeah, that's what
who
I'm trying to
tells me
say.
when to be quiet and when to shut my mouth." As soon as he
Yeah.
said, Solo Sikoa took his hand and he covered the microphone, put his hand over the microphone. He then took the microphone out of the wise man's hands. He threw it outside the ring, stood in the corner with his arms crossed, waiting until finally they played the music for the tribal chief, chant, Roman Reigns. Out he came. That took us into the first commercial, with the hook being that the trial of Roman Reigns would be kicking off after the break. So that was a smart way to keep people from changing the channel.
Yeah.
Pretty much led off with the key segment of the show. It's like starting off with your main event.
It was like 35 minutes.
It was important that they opened the show with. There was a reason why they had to open the show with this, or at least have this in the first hour, because it was leading to something that happened at the end of the show. Roman gets into the ring, and immediately Roman Reigns is showered by chants of "You got pinned." He said, "You're right. I got pinned. But last time I checked, I'm still the tribal chief." Wasn't sure why he was even here tonight. He didn't call for this tribal court. He said, I didn't call for this. Why are we even here? Why did I even come here tonight? He wanted to know why they were wasting his time. And I will tell you, for a brief moment here, when he started getting into the hallway, I didn't call for this, and I didn't know where he was going with this. I was waiting. I thought for a brief second that we were going to hear The Rock's music. And The Rock was going to come out. And you know that building would have exploded if they would have hit Rock's music. But I only say that because I wasn't sure exactly where he was going with the promo, who called for this, and then Rock would come out and say, I called for it. And, he put over the Uso. Not that they were going to do Roman and Rock at SummerSlam, but anyway, that didn't happen. For the better, anyway. Rock would just take attention away from Jey Uso and take attention away from where it needs to be. And it would unnecessarily tease people for a match that clearly we are not getting. So the Usos said that he wasn't going to manipulate them the way that he always does. And they threw to a video pack, what they called in the video Exhibit A, which was highlights of all the times that Roman has bullied Jimmy and Jay, Solo, and Heyman over the last 3 years. I mean, this is going all the way back. We got some early bloodline segments here in this book. They come back live, and you can hear the start of the "you fucked up" chants from the fans. Like, it just got going, and then Fox started to mute the audio. They muted the audio for about 10 seconds. Roman said, no, I didn't. He said, that's not who I am. That's who I was forced to be. He said that he did it for them, all of them, Jimmy, Jay, Solo. I did it for all of you. That brought the bullshit chants and more muting from Fox, another 10 seconds of dead audio. Roman said that he was a WrestleMania main eventer long before the Bloodline. He didn't need the Bloodline needed him. He said, how dare you show that footage of my worst moments? He goes, my daughter is in the back right now wondering, what kind of person I am. He goes, I've got 5 children in my household. You think I needed to take on yours too? He says, I don't need this in my life anymore. I don't need the money. I don't need any of this. Roman said that he's done. He doesn't want it anymore. I'm done. He dropped the microphone, and Jey Uso dropped the microphone at the same time. The two of them came face to face, nose to nose, eye to eye. Fans started singing the na 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 hey hey goodbye song to Roman. Roman took off the Ula Fala from around his neck, which is the Samoan necklace. That's what it's called. And he started talking off mic. And this happens a lot in these Bloodline segments where the audience at home, we can hear what he's saying. People in the building can't hear what they're saying. But he starts talking off mic to Jay. And finally, he takes the necklace and he places it around Jay's neck as if he is anointing him the new tribal chief, because he doesn't want to be tribal chief anymore. Now it's Jay's turn. So he puts the necklace around Jay's neck. Then he unvelcroed.
Yep.
You heard this.
You never know.
For you men out there that want to impress the ladies, this is something that you're going to be using.
He is. You can tell he's a big dude. And for him to get all those parts moving, it's like that train is not going to end well. So
And she's disappeared.
Sir,
They were hoping from, and I hate to pull comparisons, but they're so similar in character.
and I think that Pretty Deadly showing up to help him out shows that they agree. And
for minimalists that only carry essential items such as credit cards and IDs, it also has a cool.
And with the necklace on the ground,
Yeah.
Solo looks down. He's standing over it, looks down at it on the mat. Fans wanted him to take it and put it on. But Jimmy charged Roman again. He got put down then by a Samoan spike by Sikoa.
Yep.
Solo then picked up the Ula Fala. He picked it up, and Roman asked for it back, and Solo didn't hand it to him right away. Solo hesitated. And we're left to wonder exactly what Solo Sikoa would have done, because before he could make a decision of whether he's going to hand it back or not, Jay tackled both men from behind. Solo then planted Jay with a spinning solo. Roman and Solo, they put a beating on Jimmy outside the ring, right in front of the announce desk on the floor. When Jay tried to intervene, Solo tied him up in the ropes on the apron. And they forced him to watch as Roman mounted Jimmy, started blasting him over and over again with the undisputed title, the not-so-undisputed title. They went all Nicky Santoro from Casino on poor Jey Uso here. They made him watch. They made him watch his brother just be viciously beaten. So then Roman picked up the top part of the ring steps and slammed them into Jimmy's shoulder. Jimmy was standing up. He was kind of pressed up against the barricade.
Friday night.
Jay managed to free himself. He jumped Reigns again. Solo, though, quickly put him back down with the Samoan spike. Then he grabs Jay, flings Jay over the announce stands. He cleared the entire desk. He hit the barricade and bounced off. So now Jay is down on the floor. Roman begins to bury him underneath the giant announcer chairs. Kind of they piled him on top of Jay. So now Jay is...
Alright, that was Salamonster. This is now JD from New York.
July 7th, 2023.
JD from New York.
JD from New York, as always.
There we go.
Coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Friday evenings, wherever you may be tonight. Sponsored by my beautiful friends over at DraftKings. We'll be talking about DraftKings a little bit later on in the show, as it is a big weekend for DraftKings. Should be a big weekend for WWE. It should. They had what was a tremendous opening segment for Smackdown tonight, but 40 minutes. 40 minutes.
Yeah.
A little bit too much, man. A little bit too much. That's when you start running into problems. Now, granted, it's the bloodline, yes. It's the most watched segment in WWE. Anytime that they're on, no matter what, WWE did what they did tonight because it generates the ratings. It generates the ratings. WWE loves those breakdowns, those quarterly breakdowns of the bloodline, man. They love that shit. It's the bloodline. It's the best storyline in WWE history. And WWE is setting up for the main event of SummerSlam. 40 minutes went by. It didn't feel like 40 minutes. That's why it's the best thing in WWE right now. When it's on, you stop. When it's on, you don't do anything else but pay attention to what Jimmy, Jay, Solo, Heyman, and Roman are doing in that ring. 40 minutes is a little bit too long, man. Then you start running into problems and it starts bleeding into the rest of the show. It starts affecting the rest of the show. 3 matches. 3 matches in 2 hours because WWE wanted to go really, really heavy on story and bloodline over everything else. Normally, I don't have a problem with that. Normally, after a big wrestling heavy show, it's nice to come back down to earth and give us some nice dialogue, some story. But WWE doesn't do that. WWE doesn't do great in-ring work, substantial week to week. It's nothing but pro wrestling. They don't do that. SmackDown has been plagued by the same things every single week. Coming out of WrestleMania.
Yep.
Shortened matches, things that don't matter, bloodline, everything else seems insignificant. Rushed segment here, terrible women's division there, a mid-card title that doesn't mean shit. You got somebody in LA Knight, gonna mention it right now, inexcusable. Inexcusable.
Yeah.
Now you have the most over guy on the fucking brand, and he doesn't make it to live television inside Madison Square Garden. Are you serious? You couldn't find one fucking thing for this guy to do on the show. Not one. You couldn't squeeze him into the show for a fucking 30-second promo backstage. Nothing. For everybody that wanted LA Knight in a major program going into SummerSlam, you're shit out of luck, man. You are shit out of luck. Absolutely disgusting. WWE started the show off tonight with the Bloodline, the trial of the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. They took him to trial. You know, WWE, Michael Cole said it. I'm going to pull up the article here because I don't know what he said word for word, but it definitely had to go in line with what I am about to say. WWE likes to present, and the IWC is talking about cinema, right? The fans of this are like, oh, this is cinema. This is great cinema. Michael Cole even went on Pat McAfee's show this week and said that the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, and this story should win an Emmy. I mean,
What?
WWE is really getting a little greedy here, man. An Emmy or an ESPY for that tag team match in London. It was cinema. This is the going word now in WWE amongst the sheep and amongst everybody in the fucking
segment that goes that long.
Yeah.
And is not necessarily designed to go
So
that long.
much.
Even if it's only designed to go 30 minutes, it goes the extra 5. It just
It affects the show. I agree with all of them.
Awful. You know, I'm sometimes thinking like, is this thing working out? Am I actually?
It's not. Anything else? Michael Cole said this. When you have a story like the Bloodline, which for 3 years, and I said this on a number of occasions, should be nominated for an Emmy, Roman Reigns should be your best actor. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, all these guys should be nominated. You can make an argument that we could win an ESPY or we could win an Emmy Award because what our guys do is so unique to our world. Not only are they tremendous athletes, and in my estimation, the best athletes on the planet, because they can do things that many others cannot. But on top of that, they're actors. You have to be an actor. If you
Ross. Theory cut him off. Sheamus, though, hit a spine buster and applied cloverleaf.
That rush.
But they're putting together an unbelievable story. End quote, says Michael.
All right.
Now, I enjoyed what happened at Crown Jewel a little bit more. I enjoyed what happened at the Royal Rumble a little bit more than what I saw at Money in the Bank. The only thing that happened at Money in the Bank was Roman Reigns was pinned 1, 2, 3 by Jey Uso, clean in the middle of the ring, while he was still on a tremendous 1,000-day plus title reign in a non-title situation. It's not really what I call cinema, but I get where he's going with that. But WWE's putting all their eggs into one basket with this Bloodline story, and they're not focusing on anything else.
Exactly.
They're not. And this is a problem. Everything else seems inconsequential. Everything else seems inadequate. Everything else seems inferior to what the WWE's doing with the Bloodline. By the time we get into SummerSlam, the only match that will fucking matter, the only thing that you're going to be looking forward to is Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal Heavyweight
And
Championship.
that's it.
That is it.
That's a problem.
Is Roman going to get his revenge on Jey Uso, or is Jey Uso going to be the one to take the title from Roman Reigns and end the streak? That's it. Everything else on that card will mean nothing. Meanwhile, you should
You're
have
right, I'm not
7,
the tribal
8
chief.
matches with fucking
Because
blooming,
when you beat me,
rich story, and you don't. The Bloodline has the fortunate situation that it's something that's been built over 3 years.
yeah,
Everything else will have been built over 3 weeks.
yeah.
That I'm supposed to sit here and praise SummerSlam because WWE sold 45,000 fucking tickets inside Ford Field in Detroit.
That's the only match for SmackDown. Monday Night Raw, there's
Tell
3
me
matches.
when I'm telling lies.
Exactly. And that is the problem. SmackDown, there's only one match that's being built for SummerSlam. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso for the Universal Championship. That will main event SummerSlam. There is nothing else that's interesting. Now, for Monday Night Raw, you got Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes for the third time. 4 months of feud for the third time. Wouldn't wait for it to end. You got Drew McIntyre and Gunther for the IC title. That's a really good match, but it's just been. I mean, yeah, they had a good match at WrestleMania. Should be a good match. I'm curious what they're gonna tell us. What kind of story is it? And we got Logan Paul and Ricochet. Those are your 3 matches that are being booked for Raw for SummerSlam. SmackDown, there's only 1 match, and it's Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. That's it.
I know I don't want to watch a fucking show that has 1 match at the top of the card, and I got to sit 3.5 fucking hours till we get there, and everything else is, yeah, it's all right. It's Ricochet and Logan Paul and Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor and all this other shit.
Oh wait, hold on.
That's going on.
Never mind.
I'm sitting there shrugging my shoulders. All right, on to the next. All right, doesn't really mean much. On to the next. When's Roman coming out? Am I wrong?
No.
No, I'm not wrong. No, but this is the narrative that WWE wants out there. Triple H is the COO, the Chief Operating Officer, right?
Yeah.
Or the Chief Content Officer, whatever the fuck his title is. I don't even know what fucking title he holds. Who gives a shit what title he holds? He's a fucking puppet. That's his fucking title.
Yeah.
CCO, Chief Content Officer. Yeah, sure thing, pal.
Yeah.
With Vince McMahon sitting in Gorilla tonight. Which I'm sure you're aware of, because Stamford, Connecticut, what's the drive with traffic into Manhattan from Stamford, Connecticut?
Yeah.
2.5 hours, maybe? This is the fucking situation that we're in. And it sucks. People will be looking at Smackdown tonight, blinded with their fucking rose-colored glasses on. Oh, this was a great show.
Yeah.
Oh, this was a great show. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
It was the same
We
old
got a
shit.
great bloodline segment and a decent match with Grayson Waller making his main roster debut. Then they trotted Roman Reigns back out there as if we didn't see him enough in the first 40 minutes of the fucking show.
Yeah.
It was a great bloodline segment. Might as well fucking rename this show The Days of the Bloodline. Like Days of Our Lives.
Exactly.
This wasn't SmackDown. This was the Bloodline show tonight.
Yeah, the Bloodline carried this show. Without the Bloodline, SmackDown is dead. SmackDown garbage without the Bloodline. If you take out the Bloodline, Roman Reigns, this show is garbage. It is shit. Yeah, you might as well call it the Roman Reigns show, the Bloodline show, and that's really it. I mean, after the Bloodline, there was nothing on this show. We had a 3-minute match with AJ Styles and Karrion Kross, and then you had a 2-minute segment with the woman. Decent match with Grayson and that was it. Those were the only 3 things on this show. That was it. I can't wait for next week. What can happen next week?
Everything else means shit.
Yeah.
No, but continue to sit there and praise cinema. Cinema.
Yeah, cinema.
Meanwhile, you got a whole fucking roster of people, men and women, not being used inside of Madison Square Garden, which is a huge fucking deal for WWE.
Yeah.
They only visit Madison Square Garden at most for live TV twice a year. And you wasted 40 minutes of tonight's show on the Bloodline and nothing else.
Yeah.
Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, the only match at SummerSlam? Is there anything else coming off of Friday night that will be on SummerSlam's card August 5th? Who gives a shit? WWE doesn't give a fuck. We are basically there. It is July 7th. We will be less than a month away from SummerSlam, and nothing's been built for SummerSlam coming off of Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah. Nothing on SmackDown. Austin Theory, I don't think he's gonna defend it on the pay-per-view. We know that probably gonna be Charlotte, Bianca, and Asuka in a triple threat match, but who gives a shit? There's no build, there's no story. I don't think people care. Io Skyman can't sing. They can do Asuka and Io in a tease. for that match being built. But anyway, who gives a shit? But Monday Night Raw is no better. We don't know who we are gonna wrestle at SummerSlam. We don't know who Seth Rollins is gonna wrestle. Monday Night Raw, they have 3 matches booked, so that's 4 matches. 4 matches are being booked for SummerSlam. 3 matches on Monday Night Raw had the biggest build. Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul and Ricochet, Drew McIntyre and Gunther. Those are your 3 matches that will be on SummerSlam. Now, Becky and Trish, I hope that's not on SummerSlam. Save that for a while. Because Rhea should be on the show. Rollins should be on the show. But Smackdown, all you got is Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. And the Women's Championship with Asuka. So I think that will be SummerSlam card. Now, Monday Night Raw, you got Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. You got Gunther and Drew McIntyre. Logan Paul and Ricochet. Now, Rhea Ripley should be on SummerSlam. Seth Rollins be on SummerSlam. And then you got the Women's Champion with Asuka, Bianca, and Charlotte. And then Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. That's like 7 matches. I believe that's like 7 matches. And there should be 7 matches because that's how you do book it. It should be 3 hours. It should be 7 matches. I don't want it to be 4 hours like last time. It should be 7 matches. And that's it. I don't want to see nothing matches on the show. I don't want to see Becky and Trish. Get the fuck out of here. Save that for one. End the feud. Get Trish off TV, and that's it.
But I'm the negative one because I'm a little bit too real for you guys, and I see things a little bit different than everybody else. What else happened on tonight's show, might you ask? Edge versus Grayson Waller. They had a decent match on Friday Night SmackDown. Grayson Waller finally makes his in-ring debut for Friday Night SmackDown in a losing effort, but not really because Edge put him over. He lost the match, but won by the end of the night because Edge put him over in front of 14,000 people. Will this continue on? Will they get another match at SummerSlam? Will Grayson Waller get his win back? Probably not. But Edge only wrestled because Edge is Madison Square Garden. Last time he wrestled in Madison Square Garden, I believe it was against Seth Rollins.
Wow, 15 minutes.
At MSG on Friday Night SmackDown. So I wasn't surprised to see him wrestle tonight inside Madison Square Garden.
Well, my phone about to die.
The United States Championship against Austin Theory. I didn't expect this match to even be on the show tonight, but here we are. Austin Theory, ice cold. He's like the abominable snowman out there. He is fucking ice cold. Seriously, Eskimos are looking at Austin Theory in jealousy because of how fucking cold he is. Ridiculous. That United States title means shit to anybody. They put it on the line tonight.
Wasn't that 70? Now that
wow. Title and put it on Sheamus. Not tonight because Pretty Dead doesn't want Sheamus to be the United States champion.
Well, I might have to end the video because my phone about to die.
So now they'll probably run it back at SummerSlam. More than likely. If not, it'll be on the go-home show for SummerSlam that Friday night. Outside that, nothing else. Io Shirai tried to cash in about 90 seconds, and they rushed through a women's segment that lasted 2 minutes. Karrion Kross got legitimately injured in a 90-second match with AJ Styles. And that was it. That was it. Legitimately nothing else happened on Friday Night SmackDown. We will go over what happened in this trial of Roman Reigns tonight, and I want to thank you guys for joining me right here.
Yeah.
Coming up this week.
Alright.
Uploaded 2 extras.
I might as well just end the video. I think I'm almost done here. I actually want to talk about the news and rumors here. Major names signed with AEW. Major name confirmed for AEW, Blood and Guts.
So yesterday we talked.
Well, actually, I already talked about this. We know that major SummerSlam plan revealed.
SummerSlam is supposed
Triple H gone missing from Raw. Drew McIntyre made the update on the recurring contract. Oh wait, hold on. It says something.
SummerSlam is supposed
Alright, well, I might as well just end the video.
of Roman Reigns.
Hit that like button, leave a comment, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with more. Might as well end the video because my phone about to die, so thank you for watching.